Greetings, I am Lies and I use she, her.
And I am Scandal and I use they, them.
And let's play a game together.
Yeah.
In my dreams, it wanders the palace, screaming, striking the walls. I saw it in the kitchens last night. Deeply unsanitary, despite all the other discomforts. Bent over the remnants of supper, steam billowing from its nostrils, drool hanging from its mouth. It felt so real. She peers down into her tea, long gone cold, swirling it with a conflicted expression. Though if it is last night's tea, I think it would be called since then. I don't think anyone has poured more tea. Silly, as I said. Trust your subconscious. Those nightmares are real. I'm not
Trust
sure
your
what that means.
Does it trust your subconscious in going, it's not real?
Because it's her conscious saying it's not real, not her subconscious.
Yeah.
It's her subconscious that's making it feel really real. Like, those kind of both sound like the same thing.
They kind
One,
do.
your subconscious is making it feel super fucking real. Trust that. Two, it's real.
Yeah, I don't. How are they different?
Like, I suppose one of them is, I will confirm it's real. The other one is, your mind has already told you it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Which comes to the same conclusion, but definitely has a different attitude approach.
Right.
Where one of them is, look inside, you already know the answer.
Right.
And the other one is, oh yeah, that's real.
Which would be more straightforward, so...
But also, like, did Nadia describe what her subconscious was saying or directing her to? Trust it how?
Also, the thing is trust your subconscious in doing what? That's the thing going, like, especially if Nadia's gonna go, you know, it's expressing all my anxieties and my worries in regards to the masquerade, which is coming up. So trust your subconscious that it's about anxiety? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Also, though, those nightmares are real sounds really weird because, like, if everyone can't see it, it's not really real in that way. It's just a thing connected to part of reality, which I guess means it's real, but...
Well, and that's my other thing, too, going like, trust them, your nightmares are real. But we've never mentioned being able to see, because we actually haven't confirmed whether or not it's the white goat, even though apparently every character in here, well, Asra and yourself, your main character, knows that this is clearly Lucio.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's supposed to be your hint, even though I'm like, it could be another white creature that looks like a goat. Like,
nobody has any white creatures ever, except that one.
Yeah, I'm like, because that's
the only one.
You don't say something like, it's a white horned creature and
a beast,
bipedal looking monster that's missing an arm. Like, that would be more specific. And
honestly, if I was describing that and I'd just seen it in a dream, I'd be like, it was this white monster guy.
Uh-huh.
Like, that'd be it. It wouldn't be like, and it'd be like, maybe, like, the things that I remember are not going to be goat features or missing an arm unless that was an important part of the dream.
Right.
So, like, my dreams all sort of have emphasis on things.
Mm-hmm.
And so I also feel like it would be affected, Kohai would be affected by Asra going, we need to be really careful what we say. He said it like 3 times.
I know.
So going, a vaguer answer feels more like it would go with what he's trying to get us to do, to not startle or alarm Nadia, which I assume is part of the point. So in reference to the plot so far, I feel like because Kohai is following direction largely from Asra, because they're trying to, 1, understand him better, 2, build a better working relationship with him, 3, get closer to him, it would be like, if he has been explicitly warning us, do not say too many things too quickly, we need to be really careful, it'd be more like, I will go to the kind of answer he gives and say trust your subconscious, something more vague.
Uh-huh, and that's a thing that you have to decide what that means. So, not me go, here's my only hint, trust your subconscious.
Yes, if I go, those nightmares are real, that sounds way too direct. And he'd be like,
yeah,
based on what he said before.
Yeah, okay, so, that's fair.
So yeah, from that, I feel like this is what Kohai would say.
Mm-hmm.
Trust your subconscious. The Countess's eyes flick up to me, and a bolt of understanding passes between us.
Okay.
Pow! You don't mean what you're sensing is no dream.
Oh, nope, time to be more direct. Never mind.
I think both of them are the same answer at the end of the day.
Because that is just...
Now it's saying the nightmares are real.
Okay, it's fine.
Because what you're sensing, this is no dream. The nightmares are real. They're not a dream. That's the same answer.
Yeah, what? Okay, it's
I don't know
fine.
why that's an important difference, but there we are. I feel it too. Not I see it, I know it's there, but I feel it too. Interesting choice.
We both do. As much as we're excited for the masquerade. Except that we
I was saying,
never brought
Kohai
it up.
looks at him. We are?
Huh?
Are we excited for the masquerade?
Yes, completely excited. Shh.
That's totally what I was thinking about. You know, in the cave and
Also-
in your room.
Okay.
And riding on the beast and...
So, based on the other routes and then dealing with Asra, I'm actually a little bit confused as to why he would say this. Again, if it's just a front thing, as much as we're both excited about this thing, no one has forgotten the past, winky wonk, maybe might be what it's doing.
Or let me let you know that we're not only fixated on this problem. Other things matter too. Stay in the present.
Uh-huh.
Just stay with us. Don't spiral down into, it's hopeless, everything's bad.
Right?
So-
No one has forgotten the past.
Except me. I have literally forgotten the past.
Yes.
Maybe I am the one? Looks at Asra with huge puppy dog eyes.
Did I forget? It would make sense if the preparations are stirring up the old energy.
The old goat energy? The old nightmare energy. What are we talking about?
Are we talking about basically Nadia's abusive past? Is that the kind of energy that we're discussing, Asra? Because again, I'm like...
The masquerade was always associated with Lucio. Lucio has hurt you very badly, so this is actually, you're trying to reclaim a trauma experience?
Maybe?
Ish.
Still wish I hate to say it, I'm like, you guys felt like you were like, here, let me establish basically some dark stuff. We can't go that dark. Which still bugs me, because I'm just like, Lucio off-screen sounds way more interesting than Lucio on-screen, gotta tell ya.
Also way more terrifying.
Yeah, actually. Especially in the way that
I have
people
a very
talk.
hard time imagining him being like whiny and bitchy and making someone literally kill people in front of an audience.
I mean, like I've said before, he's exactly like Roman from Birds of Prey.
In that
which
way.
works for me, but also like...
Except that he doesn't have henchmen.
He doesn't.
And so what's scary if he doesn't actually hurt people? Does he physically stab or hurt or threaten death to
Well,
people?
that's actually the thing I also kind of wonder about, because it's
Because
kind
like
of...
Roman was scary because he was threatening death.
Well, and the thing
But
is,
he wasn't necessarily going to give it, but period, death.
Well, and Roman also had his gay boyfriend, basically, go and execute the things for him. It wasn't just Roman...
A hench person.
Yeah. And Lucio, that's what I was actually going to ask, going, hang on, even based on that, who worked for Lucio in order to execute anything that he wanted? Like that question you asked, how did you force Muriel to do anything? Because as far as I can tell...
And we've heard he threatened Asra's safety. But with what? With, I will stand up and kill him, I will send someone
To
but
kill
I'm
him?
not really in charge of anyone directly to kill him? Like, you don't have any illicit guards. As far as we know, they're basically regular palace guards, not people who will just perform wanton murder.
And that's actually the other thing where I've been confused about his character. So we're going off on a tangent
It's
here.
fine.
But it's like, he himself... So what they talk about what he does and then what you see him do, he doesn't seem to be anything other than, I guess, highly charismatic or enough to basically manipulate people in that way.
And
but that
again,
doesn't make any sense because he
verbally
also...
abusive.
Yeah, verbally abusive / a total bitch. But...
Bitch abusive.
Bitch abusive. But that doesn't... I'm like, who would listen to him in that particular way?
Again,
like,
I think we don't know enough about him to know why he's scary to people like Muriel or Asra. Like in any way, because I can get why an intimate partner who has literal legal power and such would be scary to Nadia, especially someone that you either thought you loved or that you were very into for a while.
And also
especially all the conventions of I'm in this very public relationship, I need to make it work. Which
makes more sense, but that's I'm like, how has he been able to execute anything? So I think actually, okay, so if I was going to improve basically on this story, I would actually have basically a more active hench person, basically of some kind.
Clearly, dateable hench person.
Maybe.
No, but I
either
just
that
said the
or
words and stuff.
I mean, if Lucio is going to be, yeah, they would totally be. But the thing that interests me is I'd want to see that because, okay, so all of the courtiers, even though you kind of have, what's his face, sleepy, druggy, like I'm trying to remember what the name.
The umber hair guy?
Yeah, umber hair person. I
don't know.
can't remember his name now.
Doesn't matter. I
I've
can't remember it
completely
last
forgotten.
time.
Yeah, I know. We were both like, what the fuck is it?
What's his
but
name?
like, so because
You know, good old what's his name?
good old what's his name? Wine mom.
Whining harder. Just tired, really. My gender is drunk and tired.
But because the thing is it doesn't actually even seem like that character honestly has much power either,
Or
which is also
is a dangerous hench person.
yeah, and that's like, and because none of the other courtiers in Vlastimil, Valdemar, and Volgora literally want to kick his ass, except they weirdly seem to also, instead of we're just here trying to basically get our stuff, our end of the bargain, doesn't ever seem
Valerius.
Valerius, thank you.
Hilarious.
They don't seem interested in doing anything. There's no.
You can control me to do stuff. And sure, there is the whole Volgora being I'm violent and kill stuff, but like, can you direct her to kill them to kill what you want them to kill?
Right?
Like, you are then I will threaten Muriel's life with you, or
With
Asra's
Volgora?
life with you, I guess. And
I don't know.
right,
I mean,
things of going. If you were like, maybe these are all solved in Lucio's story, except for I've heard it's a mess, so maybe not. But I was gonna say, if there was something to put in there to make him more of a formidable foe in the other routes, even where he's not playing, you know, directly in front of everyone, those would be valuable things. Make him scary in more than a verbally abusive to someone who's an intimate partner.
well, and that's the other thing that's also interesting too. So even let us again using this example because this is the only thing I really have right now. Is like with Roman, what made him terrible was not only was that he was this whiny bitch ass man who could also get really violent and was incredibly childish as well as being petty and all these other things. He still actually had people who would follow him, which was wild, but when you know about basically abusive white man culture, that makes a lot of sense.
It does.
kind
Also,
of
like,
thing.
he had monetary power, etc.
Uh-huh.
So you can hire people to follow you, and then they get stuck in it. Or then they're in a group where everyone else is following you, so unless you all quit at once, you just get killed.
Yeah.
There is, when you have a workforce that are all basically against each other to be able to survive because of capitalism, they are way more likely to follow you and do terrible things because they know that if any one of them defects, it is only their life that's in danger.
Yeah.
Old energy?
Old energy.
Him. All of this runs through his head. And the old energy.
The vibes, they were stinky.
Vibes.
I love
That's
this
the
vibe.
vibes. I feel
Very,
it
very
in my
stinky.
jellies.
Feel it in my scarf.
There. Yes.
Yes.
Now that you mention it, the master bedroom was recently renovated. Old vibes? We renovated the vibes over there, I guess?
I guess.
Now that you mention vibes, I guess? Oh, now that you mention the old energy, okay. I wonder if that may have agitated the energy.
If it's alright with you, go high and I could do a blessing on the room.
Go ahead.
I feel like
you
we're-
had said that and not in front of her, I would think you were flirting, but right now you seem very serious. Let's
Also,
go
it's
perform a
a
blessing
blessing.
on the room.
Also, the thing is I wish it was more clear here whether or not there was doublespeak going on. So that's one of the reasons also that I find to be really frustrating with the type of writing style that this is where it's very specifically like, and then I will be omniscient first-person point of view, a first-person point of view writing, and then suddenly I will be like, I have no opinions.
And also going I don't know. I wonder if he is like this or means like this. And other times, he is exactly like this. What does that face mean? I can describe to you what every face means in deep, profound minutia.
Even for people I don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
But
again...
especially his, except when it's plot relevant.
Yes, which is, again, it's like, to me, that just sort of comes across as bad writing. Like, you can't be consistent about, like, it would make more sense if you just kept it to Asra and just go, I can always read Asra, but I'm kind of guessing with everyone else.
But also, sometimes we can't read Asra.
I know!
So anyway.
I'm just talking about for consistency's
Yeah.
sake. Like, if you're gonna do it, add a blessing on the room. The whole wing, if need be. We brought back some very potent myrrh.
Not the mild stuff. Not the impotent myrrh?
Impotent myrrh.
Yes. There is a sneeze. A series of sneezes? Coughing. Dry retching from the bushes below. None of us react until all of these things have happened.
What?
It's going on for a minute. We'll just kind of sit quietly.
Hey, quiet, you fool!
I take it you are not killing bugs?
Oh, it smells terrible.
I see.
Hey, hang on.
Volta. Volgora. We were now spying on you. Yes, I will go back to my room and kill things, but it's a ruse, actually.
Okay.
Did you get yourselves turned around in the maze?
No!
Also, the maze is immediately below the veranda. Or next to the veranda? Beside it. We exit the maze into a wide area, but the maze is directly... I don't even know.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
You bet.
Mm-hmm.
Hissing, Volgora hauls Volta up the stairs, not breaking stride to bark at a passing servant. Oh, there are servants again.
Oh, look, they exist!
For a moment.
I really do have to say, like, I think it would be fascinating if the story really had been like, hey, let's more actively basically bring up the servant characters and actually have them be a more consistent presence, because while, again, we've pointed out before that it makes sense for people like Nadia not to really notice them, because
But it makes a lot of sense for your MC who is noticing everything to notice them. Especially in the sense of, again, an investigative attitude. You want to know what the variables are in any given space.
Right. Peasant servant.
You! I'll be back for the masquerade! Ready my chambers!
Wow. Okay.
Okay, hold on. I was about to say, it's Portia, though, because she's the only one. I was seriously about to say it, and I held on to it, and then here she is.
You
She is the only goddamn servant. I was there, I was like, it's a passing servant. I was like, and it'll be Portia. And then I was like, but she's not a servant. She's a handmaiden, even though she does all servant things. It seems like head servant. Anyway,
Yes.
sorry, I didn't interrupt.
Wow. Okay, fine. But I'm not happy about it. I'm going to fucking say, am I asking to get in trouble? What am I saying this for? I'm not that dumb, am I?
Because they're not in charge of me, that's why. Yes.
That literally doesn't make any sense.
They would be completely in charge of you. You're a peasant.
Yes.
Unless, of course, position of handmaiden is above a
a
legal
courtier?
court figure.
Wow.
A legal position.
I'm not happy about it. Ah, milady, you're up so early.
Is it early?
And the magicians are back. Ah.
Good morning, Portia. We have much to prepare. In fact, I was trying to get some pest removal done. Looks at Volgora.
Vulgara. I
Sorry.
love that because you're going to put Volta.
Yes, I was going to put it together, yes.
Oh, boy.
My brain, smoosh. Looks at the two of them that apparently have a ship name, which I'm sure they do.
They probably do.
I'm confident they do. So anyway, and which isn't going well either. Glary.
They've stayed here. Countess, wait.
No preparation. Stop. She stops talking. Stops explaining. What does she stop?
I guess apparently
She got
she
to
was
the-
moving.
She got to the end of a sentence and stopped, and then she stopped. She was probably going to say more.
Maybe she was. Yeah, I was about to say maybe she was going to say more. Her mouth open. Maybe she was starting to stand up. I don't know. I wish they would be more again consistent with your descriptors.
Watching Asra curiously as he sidles up to her, because he needs to be much closer for this. Nadia, and now you're right next to me. Yes, Asra? Our shoulders are basically touching. How may I help you? Hi. Hang on, let me lean in closer. Put your face in my hair, which is covering,
My ear.
my neck. No, the ear is there, but only partially.
Yeah, but it's like this, so you have your little jangly bit. So this is basically.
But also that could be angle kind of thing.
Oh, that's
so,
true.
Yeah, because it's not straight on.
That's true.
Also, though, I've thought for a while. So at one point, and this is not a criticism. This is just an anatomy awareness. If these are regular people, generally your ear canal lines up with your sinuses, which is usually about the center of the bridge of your nose. So if you have high cheekbones, it's not going to line up with that. It's going to be a little bit lower. I say, but also not with your eye. So her ear looks a bit high. Because, generally, that's where your ear canal is.
Well, it's
right
also
along with
like
the sinuses.
the faces are very long, so her face is. If we're gonna talk about that too, in regards,
Which might honestly drag the ear down more.
I was about to say though, but where your eyes typically are, so you're gonna say quote what looks the best, and that's perfectly an opinion, right? Because everybody can have a wide variety of looks. Like this is just general. A lot of them go. You usually want to line up your ear basically with your eyebrow and your nose. That's actually like where it usually goes, and you can typically tell it's in that range.
That's what I mean. But like between.
But I'm saying like her nose
and the top of your eyebrow,
is huge.
That is. She.
That's why I say she has a
good amount
long
of
face.
I was just say not like it's huge, but it's
lengthy nose.
There we go.
Well, so I said long face, but also very anime esque kind of eyes, very Disney. Boink.
Yes, Asra.
Alors, there are a couple of arrangements we'll want to make for the blessing.
I didn't agree to the blessing. You said if I like, and I have not. I have not yet expressed as to whether or not I would like.
No, you haven't said anything against it, so clearly this is the thing that is going to happen.
I do understand that you generally impose yourself into situations and decide what should be done. So I'm taking the offer was a directive of we're going to do a blessing on your room.
Yes.
All right. Well, in
This
that
is how the
case,
product works, don't you understand? Nadia doesn't need to approve anything. We suggest idea just happen.
Also, I'm going to inquire, Asra, why are you so close to me all of a sudden? Did you wish me to be involved in the blessing of my room?
It's not your room anymore after that.
Kohai, three of us are flirting now.
Okay. Is this what happened?
If this is what he is sort of leading, that's fine.
It is actually kind of interesting that they do mention that. And actually that was genuinely my first thought of going like, are you trying to basically create some sort of, like they did in the beginning, of going, oh my god, what's their relationship been like? Which is really... Okay, so I don't know how to explain this, but it's incredibly, like, straight girl thing to do. Like, in romance books, especially.
Okay.
There's always that instant jealousy. Every other woman, basically, is a threat. So I'm like, why would you do that? Also, Asra's never really been shown to be like, I will just get up in everybody's space. So it is particularly unusual, except for the fact that as far as we could tell, based on every person who's existed, which is Muriel and Julian, he's been incredibly invasive in regards to their space. So that might just be his characters to be like, actually, this is what
I get up in people's faces
constantly.
a lot. Although I was going to say, getting really close to her suggests that this might be sort of in confidence. Like, why would you need to get a lot closer, except for that other people are listening? But he doesn't say it quietly, he doesn't whisper, he doesn't lean in. All the things we described for actually creating a private space, other than, I got closer to you to indicate I'm definitely talking to you, I guess?
I mean, the thing is, you don't even have something like he leans forward in confidentiality.
Yes,
of thing.
or
like,
he lowers his voice, or he speaks only to Nadia.
That's why I say, like, just
So
sit
why did he
next to her.
I say, so why did he
sounds
get
like
closer without any follow-up?
Yes. For the blessing.
Now he whispers. Okay, here we go. Whispers in French.
Whispers in French.
Whispers
Parlez-vous français?
I was say in French wizard.
Square.
French magician.
Square.
Yeah. You whisper something very long in Nadia's ear. Her eyes widen and she gives him an odd look. Or are we now flirting with Nadia and she's surprised by this?
Oh, she didn't know.
I guess she didn't know. He made it more explicit. Good.
Or either that or again, Kohai is just so... It doesn't even go, it's flirting. It's just going, that's just how Asra acts with other people.
Everyone. Yeah. Going, so she needs to know, but she needs to know something. Him. By the way, we will be making out in your room. That is part of the blessing. It is very blessing to have wizards to have magicians make out in your room.
Yes, this is what happens in the fan fiction. We went into a room and we start to make out.
And it cleanses everything.
It's the sexy mage encounter.
Which
actually, okay, so
cleansing ritual.
The thing is, it's not only fan fiction has done that. I have definitely read a couple of adult books that specifically they're just fantasy. They don't have anything about it, but they have random extreme sex encounter in the middle of a magic session, and I'm like, okay.
Does that
there
help
we are.
The spell? Not hinder the spell, I guess.
They're like, no, it's a part of the spell, and you're like, right, this isn't just for you having wank fodder going, it's still an adult book, I swear, it's still an adult book, I swear.
The reminder, okay, the thing, tonal pacing, we're gonna have a tiny bit of a segue here.
Again.
So, in reference to a literary, I'm gonna say convention, it's not really a trope at this point, it's a convention that is used in a lot of media, but especially a lot of like American media that I've been exposed to. There's this idea that if something is going to be mature or adult, you need to, at the outset, let people know right away. You can't have something that's going to be a porn that doesn't immediately have like explicit material and then back off to let you have more lead up or something. You can't have something that's going to have explicit violence and not start out with the violence. Now, there are obviously things that have bucked this convention, but like usually a lot of them I've seen are like considered shocking, startling art films kind of thing, because you don't tell people what the genre is by going, and here's the intense makeout, and now we move into the movie proper, because you know more intense makeouts are coming.
Right.
Kind of thing. And the same thing with books, where there's this sort of like, whether it's in romance novels or things, there can be this level of, if it's going to get explicit later, you jump in on an explicit thing, even if it's not quite as explicit, so you know what type of a book this is, and then you move either back into the past or into the future or whatever.
I was about to say, honestly, with The Witcher, which isn't originally from the US at all, that author even opens with basically a sex scene. The very first scene in that book is just a sex scene.
Well, and what I was going to say is this is also a thing that happens a lot in hentai. And I don't know if it's hentai that's pitched in America, because so I don't know if that's the thing, because I know some of it you definitely do for a market audience. I would say, but if it's adult, they start out with a distinctly explicit adult scene, and then they go into how did we get here, or what did that lead to, and you can have more story, as it were, depending on your experience.
Oh, depending on what genre are we going for? Yeah.
I say, and the thing is like, forever and ever, being a profoundly demisexual person and someone who really likes stories, when I watch hentai, it is not to get excited about it. It's usually because they pitch it as some kind of story with adult content, and I keep going, okay, but is there actually any story there? And also, what's your adult content like?
Right.
And also sometimes of going, okay, weird monsters, let's see.
Right.
Whatever it is.
I think, honestly, in regards to my own, basically, perusal of hentai as well, because we're a mature channel, honestly, sorry if you're uncomfortable, by the way. We're adults here. Is really been also a lot of that, of just kind of being curious, going, what are other people basically looking at? What are they looking for? You know, what audience is this intended to be?
That's an interesting one, too, is going, what do they include and does it change?
Yeah.
Like, what are the focuses of what's hot here kind of thing? And there are, like, for the most part, I was going to say, it all looks almost exactly the same. Like, you can have different, like, this is fun, or this is angsty, or this is, illicit, or this is actually dark and uncomfortable and kind of thing. But it's usually, like, the exact same acts all the time, regardless of the anatomy of the things involved.
Right.
And that to me is like, and occasionally I've run into something where I'm like, that is doing something different. You guys are doing something different. Fascinating. What brought you to a place where you would do something different?
Right.
And I find that really interesting too. But also it's that sort of storytelling thing of going, what audience are you driving for, and why did you make these choices? Honestly, years ago, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. I will be the one to write a mature, adult, like basically hentai, and it will have a real, actual, like heavy, big, important, politically charged story, where if you cut out all the hentai in it, you could still have this really good, solid novel.
Right.
But since sex is a part of the story, you leave it all in.
Do you know what that reminds me of?
Huh.
So there's this one time. So my friend here, she's actually discussed with me about how she's known people who basically extensively have read romance novels.
Yes.
But there's this experience where she talked about going, so she would casually read these various different kinds of novels that she would just kind of grab from around the house. And there was some of them that fell into these weird categories where some of them were like, okay, I basically wrote all the sex and then I had to try to put them together somehow. I had to put these joining scenes, and it's really awkward. But there was one specific one that my friend just reminded me of, was that she described, where it was literally going, I have this whole complex, very involved, basically novel with no sex in it at all. And then now I have to add sex because it's a romance, and that's expected for the genre, so you've got these awkward transitional sex scenes before it goes, oh yeah, and now we're back to the part that I care the most about.
And it really was, like, you can look in some places where there'll be, like, either, like, author interviews or people talking about the book and stuff like that, where it's very much yes, I wrote a great big story, but since, basically women spy authors aren't popular during that generation or whatever it was, or going, this wasn't a book that was in demand by my publisher, I made it a romance by shoving in a bunch of sex scenes and making it so the characters that were working together definitely got involved.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, you had this big story idea, and then you had to make it fit this genre for the sake of being able to sell it.
Anyway, so segue.
So all of that. Anyway, whispering, and she gives an odd look. Interesting. I suppose that can be done. I wasn't aware cleansing rituals were so involved.
I see.
Curious, I try to catch Asra's eye. He gives me a subtle smile as we are led inside. Ah, Portia. I assume we're walking away from the two courtiers. I guess.
I guess they left?
Would you draw
We
a
yelled
bath?
at Portia, and then maybe we went away.
Portia went, I don't like the idea of doing that for you.
I'm
And it will
delighted.
never be mentioned again. And I guess you were leaving.
And I see Kohai didn't
As
involve-
I'm leaving.
As I go.
Anyway,
Okay. A bath for our guests. Mine is the finest in the house, though I will admit there are other bathtubs. We just don't like to talk about them.
those ones are embarrassing.
You are welcome to use it. Both of you.
At the same time.
Together.
Wow. The Countess's private pool. What an honor.
Is it-
Apparently I'm here now as background material, and also I need to tell you. God, this is... Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to keep doing this, but I'm like, okay, I gotta tell you, that's so cartoony. I'm going, wow, the Countess's private bath! What an honor! Like, it's such aggressive, like, weird exposition dump.
Okay, you need to know this is an honor because you wouldn't have figured it out on your own. And also going, are you trying to help us feel important? Or are you just like trying to cover up, stunned, she's invited someone to her bathtub.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, this
But
is
that face
so...
doesn't look like I'm covering up being stunned.
No.
Going, Nadia, I want to go to your bathtub with you.
With you alone.
Just...
But I'm just like, I really don't know. Like, because the thing is that is so... Wow, that is
that
really
sounds
aggravating.
very basic for her to say.
Yeah.
Extremely.
But I've noticed a lot of her in this route is actually, like, she's really not a fleshed out character much at all. She's either an expositional device or a thing that's just sort of there for pretend light comedy.
I was just saying, and she's been extremely non-present in general, but also we haven't been at the palace, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I was just say, she may have been a much less developed character when they wrote Asra's Root.
I mean, that makes total sense.
Mhm.
Based on the
Going-
fact they were initially writing those first three, and then they were going to see if they could get the other three done, basically by doing...
Was that an original concept? I thought only the first three were in the original concept at all.
Well, that's what I mean. Like,
That's probably a Nix Hydra lore piece we would need to know of going, the Kickstarter I know only included the first three, but did it even have the concept of eventually we may do more, or was it just that's the game?
I think the thing was the plan is they wanted to do 6, but they for sure were at least going to do the main 3.
Okay.
Based on what I recall. Now, I don't know exactly, but I'm just like, this is so sad. I'm like, you went and you made all this character art for a character that you potentially weren't even going to do. No wonder, honestly, there was that weird, like, okay, I imagine there was some other thing to get people interested, but like there was an event recently that happened maybe like a year or two ago at this point, where they were like, help us save Portia's route, right? Buy into our
Fundraiser
game.
to save Portia's route.
Yeah.
Yes.
But where the company apparently specifically asked, going, we really, and the main writer was like, I really want to finish writing this, but they might just can this, please help me, kind of thing. And
Nix Hydra does seem to have problems with money throughout.
yes,
But again, a lot of people starting up an independent sort of excursion, especially if you're not used to doing business things, you can run out of money really fast. One of the things that I've talked about before is in reference to doing like Kickstarters or GoFundMe projects or whatever. If you want to actually create something, you need to think about like the biggest amount it could cost you in your personal time, not just what will it take to buy the tools and the materials and the tech I need, whatever, but like, how much of my personal time am I going to be able to spend on this? And will I be able to make it a priority if I'm not actually paying myself to do this? I've seen so many Kickstarters for really cool things where they don't seem to include any pay for the creators involved, only the cost of doing the thing. Here's the cost of publishing it, here's the cost of creating it, here's the materials involved, and here's the cost of sending it to you guys, that kind of thing. And going, but you're going to be spending hundreds or thousands of hours on this. Are you getting anything for that? And if you aren't, it can be very hard to prioritize your time into that, which can make things fall apart and also make it get more expensive over time because things wear out, technology gets old, on and on, whatever. I just say, and while a Kickstarter is going to have a much bigger goal to actually pay everyone, also most people seem to underpay themselves and realize that at the end of it, it came out to like $2 an hour to pay yourself, even though you're like, I totally set up a salary for myself.
Right.
It's like quilting. Quilting takes thousands of hours to make big, huge, like show quality quilts.
Yes.
Now I know with quilting machines and stuff, you can do it a lot faster, but still hand quilted is considered to be better, higher quality, what have you.
Right.
And the thing is like, even if you're selling your quilt for $3,000, they're like, yeah, I'm making about 12 cents an hour.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking terrible, actually. But no, I was gonna say, so based on even this, and now our big suspicion that basically Asra's was done first, and the intention was largely probably to be you should play Asra first.
Mm-hmm.
So his story starts out with the most basically intrigue. Here's the most, basically plot side things.
And the most set up for who you actually are in the world, what your place is and what's going on around you.
It would make sense, honestly, to me, that Portia was basically sort of added in as a maybe kind of thing, and also had the least development, because I'm trying to remember where she has more character.
I mean, in NADIA'S route, she's definitely much more present.
I
would say, but that's the only, like, she's got an important role in JULIAN's route, but still limited.
And I would be curious actually to know kind of the writing timeline, basically, to find out when she was more characterized, as it were, when she had a further involvement in the story, where they were like, oh yeah, well now we know what we're doing with her, which is also, I don't know, because like part of me, so the thing with JULIAN's that I think I even mentioned, going like, there's some weird aspect of, when we played it, I was kind of, I think I even mentioned it, of just going, she feels kind of like she's just supposed to be the sister character, and it was really frustrating.
Spoilers.
Oh, well, this whole thing is spoilers, so.
That's true. I was saying, the thing is with this line, though, I really feel you going, wow! Sounds really silly, and even if she's trying
sounds like weird video game NPC, I jumped out of the corner going, wow, this thing, and you're like, thanks?
And it's supposed to be like, exposition for the player. Now you understand this is an honor. You might not have gotten it before, but now you'll know how to react. I was just saying, I've encountered that kind of thing a lot, where like, you might not know exactly how to react to this, but now that we've put this here, we've made it clear that that's the, the lore, the situation, the appropriate behavior, or conduct, manners. I'm trying to think of some etiquette. There we go. The etiquette in the situation. I was saying, and the thing is like, I don't think Portia here would be trying to tell the two magicians of going, you need to understand, this is an honor, basically, of, wow, what an honor, so that's what this is. And because that's what the only thing this line feels like to me. At any rate, though, we're a little bit over time, so...
That never happens. So
we're going to find out what kind of an honor it is in the next one!
Nay! So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Sharing our videos also does a lot for us in regards to the YouTube algorithm. Any amount of help has been fantastic. If you continue to do so, it will continue to help us more. Please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi, Patreon, and our Twitch. There are links in the description. We would love to see you there. And I have been Scandal.
And genuinely, any engagement with the video helps us be more visible and makes our platform more stable.
Yes.
Even if it's just a like or a comment with an emote.
Yes.
And I have been Liz. And it was great playing with you. Bye!